The president gave you a tool recently. Last June, he announced that the ATF would be going after rogue gun dealers who, quote unquote, willfully violate the law with zero tolerance policy, a new policy. You'll be in charge of overseeing this policy if confirmed. Define rogue gun dealer for me.
Well, Senator, as I've said, to me, the key to an enforcement program is it has to be fair, it has to be consistent, and it has to be effective. And I'm not familiar with any legal definition. I think you look at each case and you decide, you look at the facts and you decide, okay, is this an intentional violation or not? Is this a repeated violation or not? Is it effective for the ATF to spend their time on this kind of violation? Meaning, does it go to the harm we're trying to protect the public from or not? And we do our best. I'm sorry, Senator.
I got you. Can you tell me what counts as a willful violation? Would it include a clerical error that would have been historically been treated with a warning?
Senator, to me, as a lawyer, the word willful implies something more than an inadvertent error. It implies an intentional misstatement. I haven't looked at at an individual case, but in general, in the law, the term willful implies a high level of intent.
Do you think this policy that the president announced could hurt the cooperative relationship between the ATF that it has with the industry?
Senator, even in my period as a nominee before this hearing, I have tried to and have reached out and communicated with people who represent and who are in the industry. And I know it is very important for an ATF director to hear from all interested parties, whether they're victim and survivor groups or people in the industry, to see what their perspective is. And I would commit, Senator, as if I were fortunate enough to be confirmed, to continue doing that, to hear all perspectives, to be a fair regulator.
When the previous nominee as director was made, gun owners had grave concerns that he didn't respect their Second Amendment rights. I'm trying to get a sense of how you'll approach regulation if you're confirmed. Can you tell me two gun control proposals that Mr. Chipman supported that you do not support, and two that you agree with him on, and if two's too many, one on each side?
Senator, I am not intimately familiar with Mr. Chipman's record. My record was...
That's okay then.
Okay.
Did you follow Mr. Chipman's nomination and the concerns that gun owners raised when you were preparing for this hearing, or didn't it come up as you prepared for it?
Certainly, I looked at some of the concerns that were raised in the prior hearing. I can't say I followed it, Senator. I just wasn't focused on that particular matter at that time.
Can you tell me the number one source of tips that the ATF receives about firearm trafficking?
I can't because I haven't been there, but I have been told by people I've talked to in the run-up to this hearing that it's often the ATF does get tips from people in the industry.
Okay. I think that's a good answer. More specifically, I think it's a federal firearms licensee. As U.S. Attorney, did you prosecute any firearm trafficking cases that started with a tip from the licensees?
Senator, as the U.S. Attorney, you're not often privy to the details of how a particular case starts. It goes through the law enforcement, it'll go through the ATF or the FBI or local police. So I don't know the answer to that question, Senator.
Okay, thank you. I'll yield back and submit written questions for the two judges.
Thanks, Senator Grassley.